Hello friend, welcome back. My name is Becky if you're new, and today is a massive planting day. 2 days ago was our average last frost date, and I feel comfortable putting out quite a few of the things we've started in here. Plus, I just got in the mail my bare root strawberry plants. So we're gonna get these planted today. Last time we were in here together, we started all of our pumpkins, loofahs, gourds, zucchinis, squash. And every day since then, it seems like almost, they started sprouting about 2 or 3 days after I planted them. I'm getting germination on a lot of them. So this whole entire table basically was filled, and you can see where we have missing spots. That's because what I've been doing every morning is I come in here, I check the ones that have germinated, and I am transferring them over to this shelf. Now I'm out of the trays that I would normally put these on. So all I'm doing is putting them on the shelf. And once I have trays and I can put those out into the garden, I technically could put them out into the garden today because I don't think we're gonna be getting a frost again. It's still dipping down. Well, for the next 10 days, it's not supposed to dip below like 43 degrees. So I could probably put these out, but I'm gonna let them get a little bit more established in here because I have this space under the grow lights now, and I've got other things I need to prioritize other than getting these pumpkins that just sprouted into the ground. I need to direct sow my dried shelling beans, like my pinto beans and my black beans. Today, I also want to get the majority of my dahlias planted. Over the weekend, I started planting out my dahlias, and I can show you that they are looking fantastic. So instead of worrying about these pumpkins that just germinated, I'm gonna see if we can get all of our dahlias out into the garden today. I wanted to show you real quick though, my tomatoes. I was so worried about my tomatoes when we potted them. If you missed that, they were dropping leaves, they were super yellow, but look how beautiful they're looking. The tomatillo plant is looking great. I've got a few more germinating there. These plants look fantastic along with my pepper plants. I'm so happy with how they're looking. So that is a super encouraging win. So we've got these dahlias over here I just showed you. We also have these dahlias here that I want to get out into the garden, and I want to start planting out my petunias. So that is going to be our goal. These are the dahlias that we took cuttings from, and they look fantastic. So we're going to try to get those into the ground along with all these petunias. Another thing I did over the weekend is I started one whole flat of Alaska red nasturtiums. I don't see any of those germinating yet. Over here is another flat of nasturtiums. These are Empress of India nasturtiums. Those are from Johnny Seed, so I don't have a picture of those, so I'll put a picture up here for you. And then I direct sowed into the garden over the weekend tons of this black velvet nasturtium and this Alaska red shade nasturtium. Both of these are actually, all three of these nasturtium varieties are vining varieties. I just realized this year that there are two different types of nasturtiums. There are vining ones and there are bush ones. And oh my goodness, I said there was none that germinated, but as I look here, I see 4 that have germinated. We have 1, 2, 3, wait, maybe just 3. Well, at any rate, we have 3 that have germinated. So that is very exciting. Nasturtiums are very, very easy to start from seed. So if you want to grow nasturtiums, go get yourself some nasturtium seeds. They germinate quickly. I started those about 4 days ago. And they don't take long, so I'm only starting them here. They'll only be in here for probably 2 more weeks, and then they're gonna head out into the garden. Okay, so another thing I wanna get planted today as well, and I'm going to do this so that it's gonna force me to get these in the ground, is I'm gonna start soaking some of my pole beans that I wanna grow. I've got 3 varieties of drying pole beans that I want to grow this year. This is a new concept to me, growing pole beans. I usually grow bush beans, but I want to maximize my vertical space in my garden because I'm putting so many more flowers into my garden. I want to grow more vertically for things like beans. Okay, let's see here. I am going to try to grow Cherokee black pole beans. Growing black beans is one of my absolute favorite things to do. I've been growing and saving my own black bean seeds for 4 years now, but this is a bush bean variety that I've grown in the past, so I want to try growing a pole bean variety. We have a Sunset Runner pole bean. This is going to be for a dried bean as well, and it is a heirloom variety. The back of the package says that Sunset Runner beans are one of the most beautiful beans a gardener can grow. Delicious 8-inch pods from tall, reaching vines, flower, bloom all along the vines, thick clusters of dusky pink blooms. A must-try for those who love unique heirloom varieties. This variety, once dried, is a stunning black and pink speckled bean. Try alternating between Sunset Runner and Scarlet beans for Try alternating between Sunset and Scarlet Runner beans for a show-stopping display. Scarlet beans. I don't have scarlet beans, so I can't alternate. I will just be growing these. And then the other variety is rattlesnake pole beans, and these are kind of like an alternative to a pinto bean. I have grown these in the past for the green bean because the green bean tastes really delicious. So you can use this as a green bean, or you can use it as a dried kind of pinto bean alternative. And what's funny, when I grew these last time in my garden, I got probably thousands of dried beans, and this is gonna sound horrible, but I just threw them away when we moved because I was overwhelmed by them, and now I wanna grow them again. You can see, I dropped one. They look like pinto beans, but they're just a little bit smaller. So I'm gonna try growing them for the pinto bean or the dried bean. So what I'm gonna do to kind of force myself to plant these today is I'm going to start soaking a bunch of them in water so that they plump up so that I can then plant them out into the garden. So there's about 25 seeds per pack, and I'm gonna plant them along one edge of a garden bed, and they're 16 feet wide. So 16 times 12 is 192, and I am going to plant them about 3 inches apart. So I need about 64 beans per bed. I'm probably gonna plant them more like 2 inches apart. So I'm gonna put 25, I'm gonna put 5 seed packs in here, and we're gonna get these soaking. Next, I'm going to start soaking the Cherokee black. Obviously, those are pretty easy to tell these from the rattlesnake. That doesn't quite seem like enough. I'm going to get a couple more soaking, I think. And the final ones are the there's only 10 seeds in this. These are a much bigger seed. Whoop. You can see just how beautiful they are. They have got this dark base, but then they have a ton of purple on them. So I'm going to go ahead and start all the ones that I have here. Oh, and I could have planted these 2 weeks ago. It says you can plant these. Oh, no, never mind. It says after the last frost. Now these are gonna soak the whole time we're doing the rest of our projects out in the garden. And I do need to grab, let's see, they must be in here. I did not have very good germination on my Sugar Daddy peas. I don't know if I watered them enough because we didn't get much rain right after I planted these. So I think I'm gonna get a few of these soaking as well. And I'm going to go ahead and plant a few more of these out there. Soaking just helps ensure better germination. While these are soaking, I think I want to move on to getting my strawberry plants planted because I have been looking forward to this. These are gonna grow on my patio right over here. So we're gonna plant the strawberries in my green stalks. I have 3 of the leaf-shaped ones, which are the little bit smaller ones, and this one and this one are the ones I had before. The strawberry plants are gonna go in those 2, and then we're gonna put in this one a bunch of the flowers that we started, the petunias, and maybe some more of these clearance pansies that I bought. So I need to get these in the ground today too. The reason that they were selling them at discount is because they said these were leggy. And so I think what I'm gonna do is just cut them about right here, and then they'll bounce back right away. Oh my goodness, look at what I see. These are the loofahs. So I had these loofahs soak for 24 hours before I planted them. I've never gotten loofahs to germinate, and we have 1, 2, and I planted 4 in each. Not in that one. Some in here too. So that is so exciting. I came in here for these gloves and found a happy surprise. The first thing I need to do is to fill these planters before we can actually start filling them with strawberries. Now, these had soil in them from before. I went ahead and dumped that soil in the garden beds that were pretty compacted. You could reuse the soil and take about 20% of it off and add more compost to it. But because these strawberry plants are gonna be in here for a very long time, I thought it would be good for the strawberry plants to get fresh soil. So we're gonna start with fresh soil, and it didn't hurt for my garden beds to get a little top dressing of some light and fluffy potting mix. These are all the same size, so it doesn't really matter if I keep each planter exactly with each planter. Currently laid out here, I have 2 planters worth laid out here, and I'm just gonna start filling them with soil. Takes about half of a bag of soil per tier. You do want to fill your planter all the way to the top. Because it will compact over time. You can see I have it filled all the way to the top. I got 2 varieties of strawberry plants from M.I. Gardner, and these are what are called bare root. I was thinking I would fill all these pots with soil before I started planting, but I think what I'm gonna do is actually plant each tier as I go. So what I have here are bare root strawberry plants. So basically what they do is they pull the plant out of the ground and they send you just the root and the little plant there. So I'm gonna go ahead and get these planted. You don't want to plant them super deep. You wanna make sure you leave this, what is called, I think, the crown portion out of the soil. So I'm just gonna dig down. That's why I think it's gonna be easier to do this before I stack all of my planters. And this variety of strawberry is called Jewel. I got 2 varieties of strawberries this year. And I'm putting 1 plant per little section. And now I've got 1 that's a base. I'm just going to keep filling and planting. So I realized I forgot to put the drainage in each one. So I need to go ahead and do that real quick. I think I'm going to grab a different base. These inserts are crucial to the watering system. I'm going to go more into the watering system once we get these all planted out. But the awesome thing about these planters is that you only have to top water once you get everything planted in. And these inserts are crucial to making sure the water is distributed evenly throughout the planter. So I'm glad I caught my mistakes so that I could correct it. And we can just keep filling and planting and moving forward. And now I know I need to make sure I put these inserts in. Now, I want to let you know that Greenstock is having their biggest sale of the year currently running right now. It goes from May 2nd until May 13th. It's their Mother's Day sale, and you can get the 5-tier original for $99, normally $149. If you spend $150, you get free shipping. And if you use my code ACRE, you get an additional $10 off your order. This is the biggest sale of the year. Last year, I got 2 planters for my mom, and I got 2 planters for my sister. And if you have been wanting to get a Greenstock for yourself, or you want to gift one, now is the perfect time to do so. I love these planters, and I'm so excited to have strawberries back in my Greenstock planters. I will link Greenstock down below if you're interested in checking them out. Now, one thing I love about having my strawberries in these planters is I can get 42 plants in 2 square feet, which is incredible. It would take me almost one of my entire raised beds to get that many plants in my raised beds, and I can do it in 2 square feet on my patio. Living in the Pacific Northwest where I do, one of our number one pests are slugs, and slugs love strawberries just as much as I do. And so I've had the best success growing strawberries in these planters, and it's been a year, 2 growing seasons since I've had strawberries in my Greenstocks because of the move and all those types of things. So I'm so excited to have strawberry plants growing in my garden again. Now, I want to let you know there are 2 different varieties of strawberry plants when you're going to look for strawberry plants if you want to grow them. There are what are called June-bearing strawberries plants and ever-bearing strawberry plants. Both of the varieties I got at M.I. Gardener are June-bearing plants, which means in the beginning of the growing season, they're going to put on one big flush of fruit, and then that's it. And ever-bearing plants slowly put on fruit throughout the entire growing season. Now, I was thinking I kind of want one big flush of fruit so we can enjoy eating them, we can harvest them, and I can just freeze whatever we don't eat, and then I can turn them into smoothies or jams. If we get enough, we'll probably end up eating all of them fresh. Instead of just having like a sprinkling throughout the season, I wanted just one big flush. But if you want to just have, strawberries that you're kind of snacking on throughout the entire growing season, then maybe an ever-bearing type strawberry plant would be best for you. That's just something to note when you're looking for strawberry plants. Now, I officially now have 1 planter planted out, and I'm working on my 2nd planter. And I am just not worrying about the soil on the patio. I'm going to clean that all up before we're done. I now have had these plants in these planters for 1 week, and when I put them in the ground, they look very dormant because they are, and they've been, in shipping and all that stuff. And within 1 week, they are starting to come alive, they're perking up, and they're looking absolutely beautiful. They can look a little bit sad when you first get them. That's totally normal. That is what they look like in shipping, and then just plant them, give them water, give them sunshine, and they'll perk right up. Now I'm working on my 3rd one. So these are my leaf planters, so they're a little bit smaller, and you get 7 tiers instead of the 5 tiers. The original have 5 tiers, these have 7. And this next one is the one that I'm going to be putting my petunias in. And I don't want to waste any of this beautiful potting mix. This is the Happy Frog potting mix. And so I'm taking the time to kind of sweep this up and put it into the planter so we can use most of this potting mix to go in the planter, not to go into my garden beds. Now this 3rd one is done. I'm going to continue to clean up the patio. I do have 3 more planters that are the original size. And what I plan to plant in those, one of them is going to be entirely herbs. Another one is going to be entirely flowers. And then the third one is going to be green beans, I think. I just decided that I wanted one of my originals to be green beans, and so I can have easy access to green beans just right off the patio. And then I also am going to be planting lettuce in the green bean one as well, because I like easy access to lettuce. So it took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.5, because one of these was half open, of these bags to fill 3 of the leaf green stalks. Okay, now I'm gonna go ahead and get these into one bag and cleaned up as I go. All right, we're just gonna clean up as we go so that I don't have a huge mess at the end. I'm gonna get this right into this flower bed. So this one, I went ahead and just filled the whole thing up, but I did not plant in it yet. So what I need to do is go grab the flowers that are gonna go into this planter. These are the petunias that we started back in, I wanna say, I've got the date written down somewhere, but it was February maybe. And I've got 42 spots I can put in there. The variety I'm looking forward to the most is this Shockwave Purple. And I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15 of those. I thought that would be really pretty with this white one, which is the, it's called White Veil Lace. And I have 10, 15, 20, 25. Okay, 25 of those. So I have 15 of the purple and I have 25 of the white lace. I can put 42 in here, I think, because I have 7 tiers. Yeah, I can put 42. So now I need to come up with 2 more plants to put in here. I was thinking it'd be really pretty if it was the Shockwave Purple, which is purple with white specks on it and then white, because I just thought that that would be really pretty combination. I have Giant Alba Pink right here, and then I have one more tray down here, which are Triumph Pink Mix. Now I'm not sure exactly what I'm gonna do. Let's grab So let me show you what these look like, the colors of them, because I just Googled them to familiarize myself with them again. Triumph Pink is just like a classic pink petunia. I still have 3 pansies or 4 pansies I need to plant up. Giant Alba is kind of like, there's like stripes in the petals and it's really unique looking. And then over here we have Garden Party, which is just a classic colorful petunia. White Veil Lace is a white petunia, but it's kind of like ruffly on the outside of the petals. More Garden Party. Easy Wave Berry Velour is beautiful. And then the Shockwave Purple is what I'm the most excited about when it comes to the petunias this year. So this one, these 2 right here are Garden Party, and the rest of those are the Easy Wave Berry. What I think I'm gonna do is just start by putting 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. 2 of my Shockwave Purple petunias in each row. So I'm just gonna make this random. And I'm gonna try to stagger them a little bit. So this one, they're 2 apart, or just 1 apart. So now I'm gonna put 2 on this next row down. And maybe I'll put it, trying to be random is one of the most difficult things. I'm going to put that one here. I need to put one more on this row. So maybe, let's see, maybe here. I don't have to make a very big hole. We've got our soil blocks. You can see how beautiful these are. Because I have a soil block, I can kind of just sit the plant right in there. This whole entire planter is going to be petunias. I did that last year and I thought it was so pretty. So we're going to go ahead and do that again this year. Last year, I tried planting petunias and I didn't get any to germinate. So this year, we were much more successful. I'm really curious and a little nervous to see how these grow out because this is my first time successfully getting petunias to grow. But I'm just curious to see how well they will fill out this planter, being that they are petunias I have started myself versus buying at a greenhouse. So now that I have 2 in each tier, I'm going to take my Easy Wave Berry. I have one more of my Shockwave Purple. And I'm just going to put, I think, one of these in each tier. Random yet again. Now what I'm going to do is fill this in with the white veil lace. So this is going to be pretty, I think, hopefully. That's the goal. That's always the goal. So I should have basically 1, 2, 3 spots in each tier that is going to be white. So I'm kind of thinking that the white is going to just be a nice contrast to the color. Last year I had my petunia planter was all one solid color because that's what I was able to get my hands on. And the cool thing about when you start your own is you can pick from a lot more different varieties, which is kind of fun than, you know, what the nursery has chosen for you. There is a local nursery that I'm going to be going to with my mother-in-law pretty soon. And they have a huge, huge petunia selection and a huge Calibrachoa section. I think it would be really fun to do one whole green stalk in Calibrachoa. But each plant, I think there is $5.50. And so price per plant, since I was able to get them to start myself this year, it was more cost effective to start the seed myself because I already have the grow lights and things. Don't want to miss a spot. It's all done. Normally when watering green stalks, all you have to do is water from the top, and those gray discs that we put in here allow the water to run through to the bottom. But because I just planted all these and I didn't pre-moisten my soil before I planted these, I am going to water everything in really well, especially these bare roots. So I'm going to water the sides. Once these are established, you don't have to do this. You only need to water from the top. After I watered everything in really well, I went ahead and I put water in the top, and you can see how it sucks down. And then it trickles through. Let's see if I can show you. That gray pot in the center, and that gray pot in the center, I don't know what the official term for it, has holes, and so it slowly trickles down all the way through the base. And then at the bottom it has this hose, because eventually some water, if you saturate it a lot, will come through that hose, and you can have that hose oriented onto a flower bed. So these 3 are dahlias that I planted yesterday, and then here are some of the pansies I bought that I got on clearance, and this is the one that I cut the tops off like I'm going to do with the rest of them, but that'll bounce right back. This has gotten me so excited for the garden season. I know we've already been planting stuff into the garden, but because now we're officially past our last frost date, it feels like garden season has officially started. Now these strawberry plants do not look super great. I have never planted bare roots. I have watched people plant bare roots, and this is what they look like. And so we are just gonna have faith that we're gonna water them well and let them hang out here. They are going to green up now that they are in real sunshine, and I can just rotate this too as needed. I'm not sure exactly where I'm gonna put these on the patio yet, but for now they're at least stacked and planted. I'm gonna go turn the water off. Now my sister, the one that I just did all those freezer meals for, who just had a baby, I got her, I think 2 green stalks for Mother's Day last year. I'm just turning this off. And I am going to be gifting her, I had a few extra of the strawberry roots left. I'm gonna give her those. And then she asked for some extra flowers if I have them, which I will have a bunch. I wanna go ahead and get a bunch of these planted now in the garden, but I also wanna get a bunch of dahlias planted. So I think what I'm gonna do is grab some more of those dahlias. The variety of dahlia that I planted in my flower beds are the shooting star. And so I think I'm going to continue to plant in the flower beds the shooting star. Oh, shoot. So that I know exactly what varieties are where. So this whole tray, plus this one, is shooting star. So let's start by getting those planted out. I have 2 more shooting star flats, but we're going to start with these. I think what I'm gonna do is take this whole flat and some of these here. And how about this one, because I have the most of these. And we're gonna get these planted right in here. And then I've got that bed over there that I wanna get stuff planted in as well. But let's start with this bed right here. So these are the cuttings that I took from the tops. I love these pots because they've got these big holes you can stick your fingers in. Look at those roots. Those are beautiful. So I think I'm gonna get one of these 4 plants in here. This is how I did this yesterday. I don't want to hurt my irrigation. So I just make sure I kind of make a little hole. Pop that out, put that in. So what I did over here, you saw me plant in the dahlias, and then around the bed close to the grass, I planted petunias all along this edge. I did 3 of one color, and then 3 of another color, and then 3 of the color before, and all the way around to right here. And then in here, I've got 1 there, 3 in here, and 1 here. I've got the peonies, and we'll see if those grow. And then what I did over here is I went ahead and I got petunias planted along this edge as well. So we'll see how those go. And then I've got petunias planted. I just planted all these 4 little petunias. We'll see if those kind of fill out along the stairs. And then over here, because it was getting hot, it's only like 65, but 65 feels really hot to me, because it has not been 65 degrees. We've got a ton of things that we started that I have just kind of laid out here. And this was really nice to do because it was feeling really hot. So this is in the shade. This does get sun. This tree kind of shades it for a few hours a day, but this does get sun. So along the edge, I've got petunias. And then intermixed, we've got dahlias. These are all still the shooting star dahlias. We've got petunias all in here. Some of the pansies I got on discount. Petunias, dahlias, pansies, petunias. And you can kind of see it a little better from here, but everywhere you see a pot and a little square, that is where I placed a start that I want to plant. Josh just came outside and offered me a helping hand, and he's actually going to be removing some of the landscape fabric that I need removed for planting. I was getting overwhelmed by all the things that need to go into the ground. Between the dahlias, the zinnias, peppers, and tomatoes, I'm waiting until it's no colder than 45 degrees at night, which we probably have another 2 weeks or 3 weeks before that point. So I'm not going to be planting out the tomatoes and peppers, but I could plant out all the zinnias. I need to plant out the dahlias. I came in here and I thought, oh gosh, I need to plant these peanuts, and I need to plant those flowers down there and the dill. So Josh is removing landscape fabric for me. So what I'm going to do next, because now that I've soaked these, I need to plant them. I'm going to go ahead and plant these because this is easy. And then while I'm in the garden, because I haven't actually been in the garden today, I've just been working on flower planting in the landscape. Let's go out into the main garden and figure out where we're going to be putting some things like the peanuts and things. I need to plant lettuce too really bad, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's get these planted first, because these absolutely need to be planted now. I can put my gloves in my pocket. I don't really need the labels because these seeds are very easy to distinguish between, ooh, what is what. So Josh is removing some landscape fabric for me. I have decided that I'm not going to be gardening with landscape fabric this year. It just doesn't feel as easy to garden when there's landscape fabric. You can't get in there and just throw seeds in the ground or plant because you want to. You have to work around it. And so I have decided that what I'm going to do, so he's still removing some landscape fabric for me, is I am going to just put the landscape fabric on at the end of the season. So I know that on this trellis here, I want to be planting, so he's folding up my landscape fabric nice so that I can reuse it and put it back on this bed at the end of the season. Thanks, Josh, for your help. So look how beautiful these seeds look now that they have soaked. So what I'm going to do is on this bed, I'm going to plant one of the pole beans. And then this bed here is where we have the snapdragons. I'm going to put either tomatoes on that backside or tomatillos. This bed is where my cabbage is. We're going to put one of the pole beans along this backside. But look at this. Pill bugs or slugs are living up underneath this landscape fabric and have just eaten the root off some of these plants. Some of them look beautiful, but some of them are just completely dead because you can see right there, some bug just ate the stem of that. So what I'm going to do is remove this landscape fabric so we can easily plant on this backside. The backside of this trellis, where we've got more snapdragons, is going to be either tomatillos or tomatoes, and then we're going to put one of the pole beans on that back trellis there. So do we want to put the scarlet runner beans? We're going to do the rattlesnake beans here first. So I'm just dumping some of that water out. There were tomatoes in this bed last year, so that's a decomposing tomato. And about every 2 inches, I'm going to put one of these seeds. So I think the next beans that I'm gonna do are the black beans. Even though I'm planting these pole black beans, I'm still gonna plant, I think, an entire bed of my black beans that I've been saving and growing for the last 4 years because I love growing those. And I've had good success with that. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of these plants that have been killed by bugs. And so many of you guys gave me a good suggestion that I should have done when I planted them, is I should have put Sluggo around them when I planted them, but I didn't. So that's what got to them. So I'm just gonna replace them. It's not gonna be a big deal. I think I'm gonna be able to get this landscape fabric up without harming them. And you know why I'm so excited about removing this landscape fabric? Is now I can just sprinkle lettuce seeds all throughout this bed, and it's gonna be so easy to plant the lettuce seeds. I don't need to worry about turning the landscape fabric under or burning holes, and we will just cover the beds with the landscape fabric. This one might be dead too. Cover them with landscape fabric once we're done with the garden season. It might be these bugs too, and I think we're gonna have less problems with bugs, these like roly-poly bugs. Can you see that right there? I think these might be the ones that are doing it too. And I don't think they're gonna wanna live underneath my cabbages and broccolis, and I'm gonna have as big of a problem with pest pressure if there's not landscape fabric, a nice area for them to hide in. At least that's what I'm thinking. Now I've got a big bare patch here that I will probably have to go run to the nursery and pick up a few more cold weather crops. So along this edge, I will probably tonight plant some lettuce plants, but for now, oop, I just dropped a seed. For now though, I'm just gonna get these planted. I just discovered the problem, what's eating those plants. It's not the roly-polies or the slugs, it's ants. I've never had ants eat my plants before. I just disrupted them, but there were probably 15 ants on the stem of that broccoli or cauliflower plant. So that means I need to do some research and figure out what I need to do to prevent ants. I'm hoping that by removing the landscape fabric, that's gonna help that problem. What's interesting is they're really attacking the plants I purchased from the nursery. I've only lost one of the ones I started, and I've lost 2, 4, 6, 8 of the ones I bought, which is really interesting. And I planted way more of what I started. I don't know if it's the variety they like or what, but definitely interesting. So I'm gonna go through and pull each staple out, because I didn't do that when I was pulling this out earlier. And then I'll fold this up nicely. This is one I won't put on the garden bed in the fall, because obviously I put all these holes in it, but that's okay. I'll save it in case I decide I do want to do landscape fabric. Because last year I did it on basically every bed except for the potato bed and the onion beds. And this year I'm not going to do it on any. And so we'll see if we can tell a difference between landscape fabric and not. So the last bed here that I'm going to plant drying beans on is going to be this bed here. These are supposed to be beautiful flowers. So I think this will be a fun bed to have this in, because this over here is the second entrance to the garden. And so it'll be nice to have some beautiful flowers next to the entrance of the garden. So because I only have a few of these, I am gonna plant them a little further apart. I probably was planting those other beans about 1 inch apart. These I'm gonna give a little bit more room just because I don't have as many of them. I've now officially got everything planted in. I got the peas that I'm starting over planted, and I just need to get everything watered in really well. Need to get some of these snapdragons watered that I have not planted yet. This is where I replanted those sugar snap peas. I have officially watered everything in. I'm gonna grab what I brought out here and more, the landscape fabric and these mason jars. We got so much stuff done today. We got the Petunia green stalk planted out. I cannot wait to see what that's gonna look like. We got 2 strawberry green stalks planted out. We got the pole beans planted, 3 different varieties. We got more peas in the ground. I still need to get those plants in the ground over there, but we will do that after dinner. I've got some more containers that I can up pot things next year. I won't need them this year probably. And then I still have all these dahlias, a few petunias I'm going to gift to my sister, more pansies that I'm going to end up planting in the landscape. I've got one area that I was mentioning earlier over here by this tree that's not in the backyard. It's in the garden area, but I've never done anything with it. So we're going to put a lot of these in there, but mainly what I want to put in there, and it's going to be for a different day, is the Rudbeckia and Echinacea, the perennials that are going to be around for quite some time. I got most of my mess cleaned up, and then when I came in here, those little tiny nasturtium sprouts that we just started to see, you can see they're actually popping their head through, so we can get these under the grow lights and we will be able to plant these out. I'm thinking of putting these in my landscape too, which I've never done before. So this is a fun year, experimenting, actually putting things that I started, annuals, into my landscape. I've got the black fabric right there. I need to put that away. I just stuck it there for now because it is dinner time. I'm tired, I'm dirty. I just felt dirt going down my shirt just now. And so it is time to go inside and get some dinner. And we're gonna enjoy it on the patio because I cleaned up the patio from our adventures today. So it's really exciting. So we still have a lot. We've got all these absolutely stunning zinnias. I don't think I've ever had as good of looking zinnias as I have this year. So that's gonna be fun to get those in the ground. All of the dahlias in the ground, and it's just been a good day. So friend, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to spend time with me in my garden. I greatly appreciate every single one of you. If you enjoyed this, I can pop some other videos here you can go enjoy between now and my next upload. I hope you're having a fantastic day, and I can't wait to see you next time. Bye, friend.